understandably down here there's a tremendous air about the Hawthorn rooms, and the players are in the rooms with Alan Jeans at the moment, but some of the personalities that are here, and I noticed that we have the leader of the opposition here in Victoria, Mr. Jeff Kennett, and see, you're wearing a very happy face.
Yes, I am. It's a great team effort. Night football, premiership, Brownlow. What else could you ask for?
The best year in the club's history ever?
Yes, I think so. And a real credit to not only the players, but the administrators, Cookie, the trainers, a tremendous team effort.
Now, tell us about Hawthorn supporters. We know what the players felt a couple of weeks ago when they were beaten by Carlton. Lots of worry, I'd imagine, over the last couple of weeks.
No, I don't think so. I don't think we ever do well when we have a week off. I think we tend to lose our edge a bit, but it's proved to work very well for us this time round, and next year's another year we'll be back there again.
You'll be joining in the celebrations tonight?
I certainly will, yes.
All right, we'll let you go. Jeff Kennett, the leader of the opposition. Here's one bloke that we know his face, and it's a pretty happy one at the moment. Now, listen, we'll see if he's still got his singing voice. The boys are just about to come out as the club song.
We are at Hawthorn. We are the mighty Fighting Hawks.
You haven't lost a bit of it.
I'm going to play.
You look reasonably pleased. Come back here. Come back. Why are you so pleased?
Well, I've been to 2 losing ones in the last 2 years. It's nice to get back into the winner's circle. It was great today.
What about when Carlton started coming back in the second quarter? Were you worried at all?
No, I thought the determination was there today with Hawthorn. It was a completely different kettle of fish to 2 weeks ago. And I think probably that loss at that time brought him back down to earth again, and you realise where it's really at. And it's the finals and the grand final. You don't have second chances, and that's what happened today.
Where are the celebrations tonight, by the way?
I've got to work.
I'll tell you.
Then I'll go and kick down at the club.
You'll still be there for Super 66?
No, I'm midweek lotto. How long have you been with Seven, son?
Oh.
Obviously in the sports department.
Shirley Strawn, pretty happy. And, of course, so are everyone else in the Hawthorn rooms. As I said, the players at the moment are locked up with Coach Alan Jeans. They should be out any moment. I'm sure, thanks, Joey, I'm sure that's not going to be the last bottle of champagne that we see in here tonight. And I don't think it'll be the last time we see the Hawthorn theme song. In the meantime, I think we'll go back to Peter Landy and we'll join some of the personalities in just a moment.
I saw Bob Yeoman's there on the right-hand corner of the screen, and
I think Bob might have won 2 tonight.
Oh, good luck, 28.
But it's a tremendous feeling when you win a flag, and the atmosphere in the rooms is superb. But there was a little bit of sadness about this grand final. Bruce Dill playing his last game. It would have been, you know, we're not denying the fact that Hawthorn didn't deserve the grand final win, but you know, you go out in your last game and you go out in the way that Bruce had to go out. It's a bit sad, Bob, isn't it, really?
Hawthorn had also lost the last 2, so, you know, it's hard for a side to just keep losing, and, you know, you'd know that better than anybody, but...
Why? I played in the winning grand final side.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
It was sad, but as we've spoken again, if ever a man has been... whatever you can say about a person in football, then that's Bruce Dill. That's the best way I can say it, I think.
All right, well, speaking of the Carlton room, let's go down there now, and our reporter on the scene is Peter McKenna. Pete?
Thanks, Pete. It's a very, very quiet scene in the Carlton rooms, naturally enough, in a losing grand final side, but I'm fortunate to have had a word to Steve Silvagni. Steve, best man on the ground in the seconds. How disappointing was it to be left out of that side?
Oh, I was very disappointed, but you know, you just have to take the good with the bad, and hopefully I'll be playing in a premiership team next year.
Steve, you must have been very impressed with the tremendous tackling and hard work of the Hawthorn side.
Yeah, they came out from the word go and really pressured our guys, and you know, on the day they were the better team.
Justin Madden seemed to control the rucks, but you weren't getting it out of the centre.
No, that's where we did fall down early on, and Wallace and those kind of players really got it out of this middle.
Their forwards, Buchanara was a handful, and Dunstall particularly on Brucey Dill.
Yeah, Buchanara, like, he was left out last year from the grand final team, and he really showed them today.
What sort of loss will it be, Bruce Dill, to the Carlton club? You've played alongside him in defence. What sort of player was he to play with?
You know, he's so much respected around the club. You know, it's a sad day, you know, for the club that we didn't go out on a winning note for Bruce, but you know, he'll be remembered for a long time at Carlton.
Well, congratulations to your form in the seconds. It's very, very quiet here in the Carlton rooms, Pete, and I'll throw back to you.
Right, thanks very much indeed, Pete. And Steve Silvagni there speaking to Peter McKenna in the Carlton dressing room. Well, I understand the Hawthorn players have come out from behind their locked doors and their after-match address by coach Alan Jeans, and Peter Donegan is ready for us again.
Yes, thanks, Pete. Well, the boys are just out now. We might get Jason Dunstall over here if we can. Another fine performance. Jace, well done. No doubt you're enjoying that drink after a long, hard season. A great result today.
Oh, it's great. 9 months of work. It's all worth it.
I think there might be a bit of partying going on up in Queensland at the moment in your home state.
I think they'll be partying everywhere tonight, just quietly.
Now, today, the start was great. There was a bit of a lull in the second quarter when Carlton looked as though they might get back into it.
I think they threw their best at us in the second quarter. We held them pretty sway and then just took off in the third quarter.
And no problems from there on in.
Brilliant. Magnificent.
The back line, you as a forward, of course, would appreciate all the efforts put in by guys like Mew, and in fact the entire back line was superb.
They didn't give their blokes a chance. They absolutely blitzed them.
Just in one word, can you sum up the feeling?
Can't. It's impossible to. It's just unbelievable.
Well, you deserve to go and enjoy the celebrations. Congratulations, and let's hope that we'll see you back here in 12 months' time.
Thanks very much, Pete.
Jason Dunstall, the full forward who played such a magnificent game at the MCG today. Dermot Brereton's over there. I don't know whether we're any chance of getting him. He's normally such a quiet, shy lad, but we will try and get him over if we possibly can. Dermot. We'll get him over if he ever stops coughing. He's making a couple of gestures to me. I think he's ordering 2 drinks. Here he comes. Well done, old boy.
Thanks, Scoop.
Now, look, you're normally such a shy reserve character. Can you put into words how you feel now?
Oh, pretty good. I feel like $1 million, you know, like the way you look.
Now, what about out on the ground today? Any worries after that great start? It really looked as though you were going to run away with it in the first 15 minutes.
Oh, I think Carlton got their feet on the ground after the first few minutes and made a bit of a struggle for us, and we had to work very hard to win it. We edged away a bit in the third quarter again. I think Carlton took it away from us a bit in the second quarter. They played very well, but the application of the fellas was excellent.
What was the difference between today's side and the one that met Carlton 2 weeks ago?
Just the application, I'd say. We were all prepared to work until, you know, there was nothing left in reserve. So basically, will to win, desire.
A victory in a grand final is always sweet, but is it made even sweeter by the fact that you've lost the last 2 years?
Oh, for sure. Like, also losing the last 2 years, you know, I played reasonably well last year, so I was hoping that, you know, we could win this year's, obviously because to eclipse last year's, but I think I was a bit young also when I won the first one in '83, so I can really appreciate this one.
What about the private war you've had with Mr. Dorotich over the season?
I think that's been blown a bit out of proportion by the media. John Dorotich is a very good player. He, you know, we've had a couple of tussles, probably not as many tussles as I've had with some other players. Just because the 2 grand final teams, I think they were trying to make something out of it that probably wasn't. But, you know, he's a very good player, and I like playing on him, and I suppose he's the same, because when you played on him, you feel like you played a real game of football.
Finally, can you make it 5 grand finals in a row next year?
Oh, I'd love to, yeah. I think I'll get tonight's celebrations out of the way first.
All right, well, we've got plenty more players. In fact, Gary Ayres is behind it, so I think we'll let you go and drink that.
Thanks, Scoop.
Good on you, Dermy. Gary Ayres, the Norm Smith medal winner. Gary, congratulations on a magnificent game. But I think you'd be the first to admit it was a fine team performance.
Oh, tremendous. The guys have worked really hard pre-season. Everyone put in a top pre-season to get themselves fit, because it was very disappointing the way we lost last year and also '84. And to the guys' credit, they just worked enormously today. The tackling was just fantastic, I thought.
Now, someone said you were cheating because it looked like you bought your own football.
Well, I think perhaps I just had a day out today.
Now, when you came into the game, we've asked a couple of the boys, after the disappointment of a couple of weeks ago, just what did you do to bring yourself up mentally and say, OK, we can beat them?
Well, I think we were a bit flat in the second semi-final because we had the week's break, and I don't think there's any substitute for a hard finals game. I don't think we were well adjusted to a finals performance, and we just knew that we can beat them, providing we pressure and put the tackling on, and that's what the guys did today.
How much does Alan Jeans mean to this?